pentatonic scale, you know a few licks, you can even jam over a lot of different backing tracks, yet all your improvisations kind of sound the same. Your licks sound like licks. There's nothing new. You feel uninspired, bored with the instrument, need more excitement. Well, I have the lesson for you. It's very simple, very interactive. Grab your guitar. I'll show you all about it right after this. Hello, this is David from the Wallaman Guitar Artistry. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players around the world just like you develop their musical personality. Music is a language to explore, and a language to use to communicate new ideas, and most importantly, it's a living language, an evolving language, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to use a backing track that is an A Dorian. If you're not familiar with the Dorian mode, well, sit back and relax. I'll tell you all about it in a second, but you can download the charts and this backing track right here for free. There's a link below that'll take you to a sign-up page. Again, it's completely free. Sign up once and you'll get access to this backing track, the charts, and many other backing tracks that go with the lessons on this channel. Let's get started. All right, we are talking today about evolving, developing new things out of old things. First, really quick, let's take a look at the scale we're going to use. We're in A Dorian. A Dorian can be seen as a minor pentatonic scale. We're going to use the first position here of an A minor pentatonic scale. And this slice of the fretboard from the low E string to the high E string, you know it, but in case you don't, frets 5-8, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 5-8, and 5-8. So we have 5 notes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that are repeated over and over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. These 5 notes are have a blueprint, right? Every scale, every chord has a blueprint. That's what tells you what that scale is. It's made of intervals, the distance between 2 notes. That's what determines what a Dorian mode is. That's what determines what a Lydian mode is, and so forth. The minor pentatonic scale also has a blueprint. It's made of a root, which is the 1. We'll consider that the 1. That's the fundamental note, the note that attracts all the other notes, the magnet note. A minor third, a perfect fourth, a perfect fifth, and a minor seventh. Those are 5 notes that are found in the minor pentatonic scale. Now notice I didn't say anything about the 2 and the 6th. Well, if we add a major 2 and a major 6th, we have the Dorian mode. So the Dorian mode could be seen as a minor pentatonic scale to which you're adding a major 2nd, which is found right here 2 frets higher than the 1. And a major 6th, which is found 1 fret lower than the minor 7. So in the first octave, we have this now. We have on the low E string frets 5, 7, 8, next string 5, 7, and then the next string we have 4, 5. Okay, so those are 7 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's an A Dorian mode that will work over this backing track. And I can continue developing that an octave higher. Now notice that within that Dorian mode, we have a minor pentatonic scale, which means that you can phrase with minor pentatonic. And you can add those 2 notes, the 2nd and the 6th. Okay, that's for the scale. Now, what are we talking about today? Evolving new licks. Well, let's think a little bit about what happens when you pick up the guitar and you jam over a track without thinking about it. This is what happens. You start jamming, you pick up your guitar, and at some point you're going to have something that kind of sounds something like this. Right? Or maybe something like all those kind of licks, right? Why? Why do they come up? Well, because you learn them, you memorize them, and there's another why. The why is that all these licks that are played, they fall into the fingers very comfortably. They're based around that first slice of the fretboard that we just covered, that first position. And when you bend a note, typically you bend with a ring finger. Why? Because you can help that ring, the strength of the ring with the thumb wrapped around, and then the middle finger can go just below, and the index just below, giving you more strength. And all these licks rely on from that comfort zone. It's comfortable. We're going to learn how to break the comfort so that we can no longer rely on the comfort of the fingers, but we can rely on something else that can come through that's found within. All right, that's what we're going to do. So it's very important to know the scale, at least one slice of the fretboard, one position. You don't have to know all of it. Eventually you'll expand. We're going to work in that first position here, and we're going to think of unusual notes that you would not typically play because they're outside of your comfort zone as far as the positioning and the technique. So let's get to a close-up here. We'll play without the backing track for a sec. A lot of licks, a lot of musical ideas, usually they're within range. So you're going to ascend the scale, maybe you do a bend here, and then descend, something like that, right? Notice that consecutive strings, it's found a lot, even, or a different lick. You're going to go to the next string. We don't skip strings very often because it's unnatural. That's the first thing that we're going to try to break. We're going to try to add some string skips. And the next thing is that notice that when I'm playing, or when you're playing, and you've got to be honest with yourself, when you're playing some licks, typically you're not going to have two consecutive strings that are being played with the same finger. So you're typically not going to have something like, if we're on 5 here, fret number 5 of the 4th string, the next string is typically going to be a different finger. You're not going to have that very often. Why? Because there's a difficulty there. You don't want to have a bar. You don't want to have two notes ringing, which means that you've got to kind of do a roll here. That's more difficult. That's not very natural for the fingers, which means that it's not often heard, which means that you're always going to hear the simple, the more common things. So we're going to break that too. We're going to use a combination of skipping notes, skipping strings, and also playing two consecutive strings with the same finger, whether the index or the pinky or the ring. All that, notice that just by doing that, it sounds a little different. Same exact scale, but it sounds a little different. So we're going to build licks using that. Now that doesn't mean that the licks, all the notes of the licks need to be consecutive strings, same fret, or just skipping strings all the time. No, we're going to sporadically use that. So maybe at the end of a lick, we've got an idea. We're kind of free form, letting our fingers go. And then maybe a consecutive string here. So if I have, here's an example. That would be a typical lick, right? Everything falls under the fingers very easily. We've heard that before. I'm on the 4th string, frets 5, 7, 3rd string, 5, back to 4th string, 7. Now let's add one of these things, either a string skip or playing a consecutive string with the same finger. In this case, I'm using the ring on the 4th string, 7th fret. Maybe we can go on the 3rd string, 7th fret. So instead of having and stopping here, we have something like this. Okay, that's a little different. Now maybe from here, we'll do a string skip to the 1st string 5. Why not? So we'll have something. Let's try that over the track. We don't have to play fast, we're just exploring the notes. Sounds different, right? Then, right? You can still use those, but it sounds a little different. Here I did the same finger, adjacent string. Let's try another one. We'll start here, maybe descending. So far, nothing new. Maybe we'll do the same finger, index on the 5th string, adjacent string, 3rd. And then maybe we'll skip a string and go to the 1st string and we'll land on the 2nd, which is Dorian. So we have something. That's cool. So we're going to play a little bit with that. Try different rhythm variations, getting used to it. That's cool. And the more you do it, the more fluent you're going to be. That's a new word that we're learning how to use. Now it's getting really comfortable. Too comfortable. It's getting to be a recurring thing now. So we're going to break that and try something else. Maybe we'll try here. 4th string, 5th fret. 4th string, 4th fret, and we'll do a string skip, maybe on the 2nd string, 5. So we've got, I can't remember, something like that. How about we do this, and then we'll ascend the pentatonic scale. Oops. Maybe, or maybe descend. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I'm getting too comfortable here. So I add some string skips, maybe some adjacent string. Now, if you add to that moving along the fretboard in different position, that's where your improv is going to be something new each time. I'm not thinking licks, I'm thinking breaking the licks. Like that, adjacent strings and fingers. Using a 3rd and 4th string, frets 5, 5, and then 5th string 7. And the backing track's over. That's what I have for you today. So it's more of a mindset, right? It's trying to be conscious about what you're playing. And anytime you are in a situation at home when you practice improvisation, thinking about these things. We just use 2 concepts, very simple. String skipping and then same finger, adjacent strings, because that's outside of my comfort zone. Maybe it's not outside of your comfort zone, therefore you need to find something else. And then once you have an idea that uses one of these, maybe something like this, you can go along the scale using the charts. Again, those charts in the backing track that we used are available for free. Sign up below, completely free. That'll give you a login so that you can access most of the lessons on the channel. We're adding more and more as we go. And all the backing tracks and all that good stuff. All right, I talk a lot. I know. You don't have to type it in the comment. I read them. I know. Rewatch the lesson. I think it'll give you some clues and tips and inspiration. And if this was your first visit, thanks for watching the video till the end. Consider subscribing. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, a new video just like this one comes out, helping guitar players around the world develop their musical personality. Thank you so much. Practice well. I'll see you next time.